Ladies and gentlemen, a workbench update. And instead of starting a new project, which I haven't quite committed to yet, I wanted to do something a tad bit different. And that is, I don't know if you're like me, but do you plan it out? A build, I know you get the kit and, you start building and get to the finish line, but there's other, dioramas or other means of building that it looks good in your head, but you haven't really figured out, how well it will look in the physical form. And one thing I do, and I don't know if a lot of y'all do it or not, but I sometimes when I get an idea, I draw it out. And I got to thank Interstellar Modeler. And if I can do it on my phone, I'll try to put the link on his channel. But he did a book nook with a bigger figure in it. And I really never gave that a thought. I was always keeping mine a consistent scale, about 30-second scale. That's what I was trying to keep them. That's what the scale that is what I was trying to keep them as for myself. But I saw his, and I was like, well, I had a thought to do it. So I tried to sketch out just a quick what I kind of wanted to do with a bigger figure. By no means, you know, an artiste of sketching it out, mostly stick figure type stuff, or if I have an idea how I want to put something in, I'll draw it out. I usually take a lot of notes. Sometimes I'll write down cowboy, which was for my uh, pterodactyl little model I did, but stuff like that. But I don't know if you all draw it out. I do. It just helps out. So I better start with that. Michaels has it, and I haven't got theirs yet, but Amazon had one. They're about the same price, but you can get a generic book nook. Now, again, if you're good at carpentry and want to build your own, have at it. I like these because they snap together, and you also get a light kit in it. So don't have to necessarily do what they did, but you can add to it, and it's just a plug and play. So I did get the mock-up of my book nook put together, as you can see by the sketches. Some Van Gogh stuff there. But anyway, the bigger figure, and this is where I haven't quite committed myself yet. Let's see. I have a bunch of these. Polar lights in particular. I do have a couple of Aurora ones, and would like to have the Atlantis one just to have the lineage. But I do have quite a few of the Mummy here, which he is first monster kit I ever built, and it's one of those models that you always remember. And I was very, very young when I bought him at a garage sale, already like half put together. And then I got home, and he basically fell apart. And I glued him together and painted him. That was the first experience with monster figures, and I have been hooked ever since. But anyway, I built him about 4 times. So this time I was thinking of an Aurora book note. So uh, he actually fits. With room to spare, I didn't glue his head on, but if you can see where I think it worked out really well, like he's coming through it. I even thought about doing I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to do him exactly, just to keep it simple, or do like Dracula, Frankenstein, or the Phantom of the Opera, one of them. So I thought about I'll have to make. I want to do like an archway where like he's coming through, and I'll have to do the walls like a pyramid. But I wanted to use the base. Now I'll have to chop that up. As you can see, it don't fit, but it gives you an idea of I can get them to fit. Walking through the base, keeping the base in with the kit, but adding a few other little textures on the sides, like their walls. And I was trying to try to pinpoint an exact movie that Lon Chaney mummy's in, because he did the Curse of the Hand and two others, I believe, which I'll have to go do my research. But I was trying to find, I was either trying to find a specific point in a movie where he was in tomb type, or we'll just have to, play with it and just see what happens. But this is the planning stage that I have been a good part of a week trying to figure out if I want to continue on, go with it, or will it, morph into something else. Same premise, just a different subject, not necessarily a monster, a superhero, or something like that. So again, I do love models, but I don't like to necessarily build, just straight. Get the kit, start building, and sometimes I like to have another little flair to it to make it different, unique, stand out from amongst the rest. So I've been working on that, and I've also been trying to do something a tad bit different. These kits, they have seam line real bad, and I would like to put together, I assume it's the same, but I would like to put together a very first run mummy, because they all have flash real bad, and I would like to know if the very first run ever had flash on it, or it's just so many years of producing the kit, it's just finally wearing out. But anyway, you can see some of the seams, which you can go in with epoxy sculpt and resculpt everything. However, I was experimenting with tissue paper and white glue and putting it over the seam, and it hid the seam really well, and it's texturing with the bandages. And I can go back in pretty much with a fingernail, or I'll probably go in with a very soft burnishing tool, and I'll burnish in the bandages once I get everywhere coated and everything. And I think it fits. It just gives it a nice texture with the mummy, I won't say cloth rags, and but anyway, and I'll show you something else. I have a bunch of these, and I went through a little phase. Since it's not technically a build quite yet, but the Lon Chaney head here, I drilled out the eye. Whoop. I drilled out the eye. I went through a little phase of making eyes glow. I'd put a LED in there, and because I did that on Nosferatu, and I did that on a few others. Again, it was taking everyone else was building the same kit, but can you make yours just a tad bit different? And I was doing something that nature. But anyway, I have several of these, and I've been trying to work out exactly how I want to do it, and just see what happens once I get the everything figured out, if I want to go ahead or do I want to change or something else. But anyway, that's what I do. I thought maybe like to know if everyone else does the same, sketch it out, or build it part way, change their mind, stuff like that. But that's kind of the process I go through when I build something, rather something different. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I got going on today. I am trying to figure out if I want to build an Aurora style book nook. So that's what I got going on today. Stay tuned for next exciting episode.